Oh, right. So, how did I get started with all of this? Right. I'm 29 years old and I manage a restaurant. I wasn't always in this industry. Back in 2020, in the midst of the COVID lockdown, I actually decided to go to university as a 24-year-old to study computer science. A couple of years ago in September, I graduated with a first class degree in computer science. And unlike most normal people would, instead of getting a job as a software engineer, I decided to work full time in my father's restaurant business. And so I was, looking for jobs. At the same time, I was helping out my father with his restaurant business anyway. So, doing things like setting up the website, um, doing some of the marketing materials, designing the menus, that kind of stuff. And I've always been someone who has been interested in business and who wanted to own his own business. However, I never really quite got going. I did have a few, little side hustles over the years, but nothing really where I, really committed um, to starting. If I was to go get a job as a software engineer, I would be getting paid basically to either develop something for a company or develop something for a business or a client that would make them money. So essentially, I'm getting paid to make somebody else money through the software that I would be building. And so it got me thinking, why don't I use the skills that I have, my newfound programming skills, and why don't I apply that to my own business to try and scale it? So that was the thought process, at least, that was the theory. I stopped applying for jobs and I came and kind of started working full time in the restaurant business. And my initial idea was I was going to set up all these AI automations and have an AI phone agent to answer the phone instead of having to hire a member of staff to do that. I would set up a really amazing website, I'd build an app, and all these different ideas that I had, um, and none of that happened. I came in, and I was so busy with the day-to-day running of the business that I didn't even have time to think about any of that stuff. I came in, and I was basically a worker, right? So I was here at the front of house. I was serving customers, taking orders, going on deliveries myself. I was taking the inventory. I was going to the suppliers and ordering all the inventory. I was hiring staff. I was managing the team. I was trying to put together a team and build them. I was trying to do all these different things. Like many business owners, I fell into the trap of just working so much in the business that I wasn't able to work on the business. Very quickly, a year has passed by and I'm sat here now and I haven't really implemented any of those things that I thought I was going to do. I knew that I needed to build systems, leverage social media, leverage technology, all these different things, but I just felt like I didn't have the time or the energy when I did have the time to actually implement those things because I was just so busy running around helping out the staff and filling in those gaps. A year on, and I've realized that if I don't change things, then nothing else is going to change. The business is not going to change. It hasn't really gone to the next level, and so I almost feel like I've wasted my time a little bit, even though that's not the case. I haven't done the things that I thought that I would have done. And so my number one priority now is to work as much as I can on the business and less, in the business. So less on the day-to-day tasks of actually running the restaurant and more about being able to take a step back, see what's working, see what's not working, and actually work on the high leverage tasks that are going to push the business forward. And eventually that's going to free up my time so that I have a business that works for me and not the other way around, not a business that controls me. And that's always been a dream of mine. Moving forward, I'm going to be documenting my journey. I'm going to be documenting me implementing all the things that I initially set out. It helps that maybe you can, whoever's watching can learn a thing or two, learn from the mistakes that I've made. Maybe you can implement some of those things into your own business. Keep an eye out if you are interested in business, technology, mindset, anything like that. And keep an eye out for future videos. I'll be making sure to document some of the things that I'm doing. So, like I said, if you are interested, just keep an eye out, and I'll see you on the next one.